Now you have some time to look at the questions.
So, Ms. Prendergast, let me take your details. I'll just enter your name. How do you spell it?
Prendergast.
OK, that's it. And what's your present address?
52 Lanchester Road. That's Lanchester. It's in the Riverside part of town. The postcode is KE7 8UD.
And your home phone number?
01594 398 210.
And I've got your mobile number 07945 872 310.
Yes, that's right.
OK. Now, the house is on the market for £350,000, but I know that the owners would be happy to accept a close offer as it's been on for a few months. What would your first offer be?
I think £340,000 would be fair.
OK, I'll put that offer to them and we'll see what they say. Now, usually buyers have a mortgage arranged with a bank, a loan to buy the house, so that we can quickly complete the sale. Do you have one arranged yet?
We've spoken to our bank, and they're happy to offer us what we need, up to £300,000. We also have a 15% deposit in our bank account, about £52,000, so that won't be a problem.
And is anyone buying your house? Will the sellers of this property need to wait for you to sell yours?
No. We sold it a couple of months ago, and we're staying with relatives, so we're ready to move in as soon as the sale is completed. So, when do you think you can get an answer on the offer?
I should be able to get one tomorrow. Then, if they agree, we can do things quite quickly.
Oh.
Your bank will do the survey, send someone to check the house is in good condition and at the right price. And if that's OK, we can then prepare the contracts for you and the seller to sign.
How long do you think the sale will take after that?
Well, it's difficult to say. If things go well, we should complete it in about 2 months at the most. Most sales take about 2 months. However, if there are any problems, it could take longer, but we hope it won't be more than 3 months. For example, part of the house, like the roof, might be in bad condition and might need some work, or there might be plans for a new road in the local area. Anything like that can delay the sale, but most of our sales go through quickly.
Oh, I hope nothing like that happens. We're really looking forward to moving in soon. It's not easy living a long time with relatives, and my husband has a long journey to get to work. But those aren't the things I'm really worried about. If we can move in before the end of the summer, it'll be much easier for the children to go to their new school. That's why I hope we can complete everything on time.
Don't worry. I don't see any problems with this sale, so I'm quite sure you'll be in the house by then. So just to go over things again, I'll talk to the sellers tomorrow. If they accept your offer, then we can continue. If they don't, you'll need to put in a higher one quickly, but we should be able to agree by the end of the week. Then you ask your bank to send someone to check the house. If that's all OK, the next step is to prepare the contracts for you and the seller to sign, and we should complete the sale soon after that.
Wonderful. I'll look forward to your call tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Now you have some time to look at the questions.
Well, as a psychology tutor, I find that really interesting. Many types of people participate in projects studying the effects of isolation. We all know that one of the main issues with a project like this is how people will get on when they are locked away together for such a long time. It can produce all kinds of psychological and emotional problems. That's what I'm particularly interested in, and one of the reasons why I wanted you to do this particular project.
Me too. That'll be one of the most important things to come out of this project. How people can control their emotions and feelings over a long time when they can't get away from each other.
True, but we have to remember that this is a science project and not some soap opera or television series with lots of silly people locked up in a big house or something.
I can see what both of you are saying, but there are always going to be problems like these, so it's not surprising when they happen. In fact, this is the first time someone has got really angry in the first 3 months, so I think that's quite a positive thing.
So what do you think will happen? Will they make him leave?
I don't think they can. It's all part of the programme. And anyway, as the environmental engineer, Joe is an essential member of the team. If he left, then the whole environment of the building would go wrong. So I think they'll just have to work the situation out. Remember last month, when the ventilation system broke down? They almost lost all their fresh air. He only had a couple of hours to fix it, and he managed to do it.
I'm sure they'll work it out. So, what else have you found out?
Now you have some time to look at the questions.
So, now that the project has ended, we need to review it, and I can help you plan your final assignments.
Yes, I never thought that of the 10 who started, only 6 would finish in the end, and it was really hard for them to get through the whole program. So, what have we learned?
Well, I've got lots of data on the environmental systems and life support, and that's the key focus of my project report, especially considering the events last week, when the whole system came close to failing.
Right. When the life support system went offline for 4 hours, they had to really race to fix it. If that happened on a real trip, it'd be a disaster. They could all die.
I know. It's good that they weren't actually in danger in this project, but I agree. In a real situation, people could have been killed. Who would have thought that it would be on the front page and the first item on the evening bulletin? It shows how much interest there's been in the project. Anyway, I'm hoping to use the data to design a new system if it's not too difficult.
That would be challenging, but fascinating at the same time. I think you'll do well with that, Simon. Personally, I'd love to focus on the particularly interesting and useful data on the health of the participants. I think it'd be worthwhile writing about the physical effects of the project. You know, how they kept healthy in the long term, even though they became ill sometimes, but also about the psychological effects of living in an enclosed group like that. It'd be interesting to see if any of them will have any long-term health changes. Would either of you like to take that on?
Well, I'm not sure if I could take that on as well as producing an assessment of the life support issues. I feel that those are more significant in view of the current developments in technology to support this kind of expedition. I've already looked at the latest reports in the popular science magazines. Though there are some fascinating articles due in the next Journal of Space Studies, maybe I could beat them to it.
That'd be a great idea, Simon, to write an article. But for me, the main thing is the efficiency of the crew and how well they manage to perform their duties. I'm focusing specifically on their abilities to work under the stresses of living in an enclosed environment. I'm going to analyse how well they manage to maintain their effectiveness over time.
That's interesting. Maybe you could include a section on the psychological effects of long-term isolation. Remember the incident early in the project? It'd be very interesting to follow that up with the latest developments and results. I can give you some of the latest research on the subject from other studies for you to compare. I think it would significantly enhance your research and findings.
OK, that sounds like a good idea. It shouldn't be too difficult to develop a wider theme to include the psychological studies. I'll work out a structure for next week.
That's great, Maria. We can meet again next Wednesday, and I can help you structure it. And what about you, Simon? Do you think you have enough?
Yes, thanks, Dr. Thornton. I've got plenty to think about, especially as the study of life support was the main aim of the whole project. I could include some observations about the effects on the physical and mental health of the participants, as it's relevant.
That's fine, then. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
One thing I'm really surprised about is that they managed to complete the project without any extra costs. Everyone was expecting it to go over the original $10 million. I personally thought that it might even go up to something like $12 million.
Well, actually, it says here that the final cost was $9.5 million, so they saved $500,000 in the end.
They could give that to us to fund our projects. Is there anything about future developments?
Well, I heard that they're going to share their research results with government and private organizations. There are a few other organizations planning trips to Mars that would love to study the results. I'm not sure the government is planning anything, but they'd be interested anyway.
What about a follow-up? Are they planning another project?
Well, depending on the results from this one, they're going to decide whether to have another one that will last a year. Obviously, they'll have to find some more participants. Would either of you be interested in taking part?
It depends. I wouldn't say no, but I'd have to think a long time about it. I don't know if I'd want to be cut off for so long.
I think you should bear it in mind. It would be so interesting to see how staying in a situation like that for a year affects physical and mental health. I'd love to follow your progress myself. I might even volunteer. What about you, Simon?
Oh, you wouldn't catch me inside one of those places. I'll be happy to follow what goes on and see how the whole system works over a year, but definitely from the outside, not the inside. I wouldn't mind working for the company, though. It'd be great to study it and get paid at the same time.
Well, thank you, both of you. You've produced excellent results, and I'm looking forward to seeing your final submissions.